now.
I started a football team, AFTVFC.
Oh my God!
I want to start a football league.
Real YouTubers business. Dealt with the first incident. Your brother just sent me a chance.
Yeah, we sacked him from managing the team.
Use your Fire TV to search for the UFF app to watch now.
I started a football team, AFTVFC.
Use your Fire TV to search for the UFF app to watch now.
I started a football team, AFTVFC.
Oh my God!
I want to start a football league.
Real YouTubers business. Dealt with the first incident. Your brother just sent me a chance.
Yeah, we sacked him from managing the team.
Use your Fire TV to search for the UFF app to watch now.
I started a football team, AFTVFC.
Oh my God!
I want to start a football league.
Real YouTubers business. Dealt with the first incident. Your brother just sent me a chance.
Yeah, we sacked him from managing the team.
Use your Fire TV to search for the UFF app to watch now.
I started a football team, AFTVFC.
Oh my God!
I want to start a football league.
Real YouTubers business. Dealt with the first incident. Your brother just sent me a chance.
Yeah, we sacked him from managing the team.
Use your Fire TV to search for the UFF app to watch now.
I started a football team, AFTVFC.
Oh my God!
I want to start a football league.
Real YouTubers business. Dealt with the first incident. Your brother just sent me a chance.
Yeah, we sacked him from managing the team.
Use your Fire TV to search for the UFF app to watch now.
I started a football team, AFTVFC.
Oh my God!
I want to start a football league.
Real YouTubers business. Dealt with the first incident. Your brother just sent me a chance.
Yeah, we sacked him from managing the team. I started a football team, AFTVFC.
Oh my God!
I want to start a football league.
Real YouTubers business. Dealt with the first incident. Your brother just sent me a chance.
Yeah, we sacked him from managing the team.
Use your Fire TV to search for the UFF app to watch now.
I started a football team, AFTVFC.
Oh my God!
I want to start a football league.
Real YouTubers business. Dealt with the first incident. Your brother just sent me a chance.
Yeah, we sacked him from managing the team.
Use your Fire TV to search for the UFF app to watch now.
Hello and welcome to FanPark Live. Manchester United 2, Chelsea 0 at Stamford Bridge in the 5th round of the FA Cup. The live draw will of course come live to you from us here to see who United and all the other victorious FA Cup teams this current round will face. We are joined in the studio for some goal review and some fan analysis with you all tonight by... We have a very happy Manchester United fan in Neeks. And of course, it's 2-0 now in the FanPark Live studio. Our boy Danny, the Chelsea fan, joining us. Gentlemen, good evening to you both. How are you?
I'm great. I'm feeling great.
You're great.
Yeah.
Not quite what you expected from your team tonight.
To be honest, I wasn't optimistic as optimistic as I was once I saw the starting lineup, but I still expected better. It started off well, but it petered away, and United were a better team today. They certainly deserved the victory, and I wish them the best going forward.
And from your point,
not really, but yeah.
Has anyone seen Eden Hazard?
Oh, brilliant.
Struggling. No. Oh, okay.
You as a Man United fan, Nix, going into this game, only 2 victories in 22 matches at Stamford Bridge. Going into this match tonight, were you confident? Did you see a Paul Pogba performance like that? Did you imagine walking away victorious like this evening with ease?
From time the draw was made, I felt it was going to be a difficult game, regardless of the form that we were in, because, as you said, going to Stamford Bridge has never been easy. Even the glory days, we used to struggle at Stamford Bridge. After the demolition, against Man City, where they lost 6-0, I was slightly more confident. But then we got dominated by PSG. It came back to the same level. We're going to Stamford Bridge, going to be difficult. Game started very even, but the way we controlled, or we were very composed and comfortable after going 1-0 up, that's what I didn't expect. I expected a bit more from Chelsea, but I'm pleasantly surprised at how comfortable our players made it.
No, I get that completely. And did you expect more from your players tonight? Were you disappointed with the performance?
Do I expect more? Yes, but I'm not ultimately surprised by the performance, because that's what we've seen for large parts of the season. Against Man City, again, we maybe started off well, but as soon as we go behind, as soon as the going gets tough in games, we don't have the right reaction to when things are going wrong. We don't know how to really change it up and find a new momentum in the game. So I'm disappointed. There's a lot of things we could have done better, especially in the second half. But again, the main point you made was that it was comfortable and you had a lot of control over the game. That was certainly the case. We didn't look like we were going to threaten to really score at many stages of the second half. And that was the main issue for me.
Absolutely, I get that. Remember, we are going to come to your calls very, very soon on 0203 606 0315. I want to throw a tweet up on the screen now. I've got to throw this up. It is making me laugh a little bit. We've just seen this. I'm going to try and get this to work for the first time. That isn't the one I want. The one I want is hopefully now going to come up. Where are we at? Oh, he's not showing it. He's not showing the picture. There we go. I wish you could see it. I wish you guys could see what I was seeing here. This is from Anthony. He says, you should go and find this guy on Twitter. He says, Mourinho looking at Pogba right now. If we put it up in the lower third, Javern. Yeah, there it is. There it is. It doesn't show the picture, but you've got to go and find this guy. He's at Ant, A-N-T, 9521. Go check it out. It's quite a funny picture. You want to go and check that out as well. There are a few comments here that we're going to go through from people. There's one here I'm going to throw up in the lower third here as well that I want to put up. This should hopefully work. It's loading itself. When it's loading, we know it's coming here. This is Ander. What do you think of this? Ander or Pogba? Both of them were amazing tonight. I mean, what did you make of their performances as a Man United fan?
It's funny because we were speaking literally about Herrera, his impact at Man United, what people expect or didn't expect, and how they've kind of received him at Man United in his career. I'm an Herrera fan, and as we were speaking about it, he pops up at the back post with a good header. A header you expect him to score. Obviously, it was from Pogba's cross, and at that point in the game, Pogba was playing all right, but he wasn't really having an impact in the game. But that's what he can do. When you've got a player of that quality, all they need is a little, a small space or a little time on the ball, which Chelsea offered him, and he got the ball in to the back post, and then of course he comes up with the crucial second goal just before half time. Pretty much, the game was 45 minutes left to go, but at 2-0 up, I didn't expect us to go on and lose it. And good late run into the box and a good header that the keeper should have done better with. Yeah. But this is the Pogba we have been wanting. This is the Pogba I expected when we got him. This is the reason I got Pogba, not on this shirt, my other shirt, at the back of my shirt. Because this is the Pogba, the prodigal son, as I called him when he came back. And he's putting in those performances now. So I'm delighted, isn't it?
I get that. I mean, yourself as a Chelsea fan watching Paul Pogba tonight, how good would you rate his display, Danny?
Maybe like a 7 out of 10, and that's not to say that it wasn't amazing, but that's what we come to expect from Pogba. He's a world-class player clearly, and he's shown that form that we saw a lot at Juventus, and we see relatively quite a lot for France as well. And I feel like in this system with Oli, where you see him a lot more further off the pitch, he's not taking the ball off of Matic. He's normally trying to get into the box and make things happen in the final third, and that's why we didn't see a lot of him in that PSG game. But when you see him on the ball in the final third, he makes a lot of things happen, and it was amazing today. That step over he done for the cross to Herrera was brilliant, and again, when he's on form like that, it's hard to stop him. And yeah, probably a standard performance for Pogba because he's one of the best players in the world, and that's what you expect from him to do. So,
well, he spoke about, I think it could have been just before Jose left, also was sacked. I think he was speaking about what position he likes to play, and he mentioned the person that he might, let's say, emulate more than anyone else would be someone like Frank Lampard in terms of the late runs into the box, trying to get. I think it was actually just as Oli was hired. Those late runs into the box to get the goals, because as much as yes, the dictating play and spraying 40, 50-yard balls, and even just controlling the game is all important. But goals win matches, and the further you are up the pitch, a quality player like him, powerful in the air, technically brilliant with his feet, he can get goals, he can get assists, and you can see under Oli playing more advanced, number 10 you might call it, or making those late runs from the midfield. He's had massive impacts on the game. The first season he's ever hit double figures in the league. Granted, he takes the penalties as well, but in open play, he's brilliant.
Absolutely. Listen, if you want to have your comments read out as well on Twitter, please use the hashtag FanParkLive. We will put as many of them up as we can on the screen. You can see all your comments along the side of us there. There's a comment there from Gunner for Life. It says Chelsea have regained the Banter title.
Come on,
From your point of view, I'll ask you this, Danny, now, right? Destroyed by Manchester City. Man United look pretty comfortable tonight at Stamford Bridge. How tough are things now for Sarri? Because more and more Chelsea voices are saying Sarri out. They're not happy with his style, his management. Where do you stand on the argument? Do you want to give this manager more time, his system more time, or do you think major changes need to come?
So, first and foremost, we attempted to hire Sarri for a good 2 or 3 months at the end of the last season, and eventually managed to get him with the deal with ADL, which took forever. We also got Jorginho in that package, and we hired Sarri for his brain. We know that he has a plan in place, and we believed in his process then. So 6 months into the process now, maybe 7 months in now, we can't just give up on it just because results aren't going our way. Yes, I think a problem with a lot of Chelsea fans, we've become accustomed to instant success where manager will come in and it'll work, and if not, then let's get rid of them. But really, that's not ideal. How many of other clubs have really had that kind of success? Liverpool haven't had it with Klopp. They had to wait many years. They finished 8th in their first season. With Pep Guardiola, they were in the top 4 battle for their first season, and they had to spend 150 million on new fullbacks. So you have to believe in this process. Yes, there's a lot of things that Sarri's doing which is questionable. There's no reason why, as fans, we can't question what he's doing, but we still have to keep faith with the system and be patient, because again, things aren't going to just come quickly. These players ultimately aren't good enough. As much as they were able to win titles before, things need to be improved in terms of the personnel as well as with the manager as well. I think the manager can do things to improve, but we certainly have to give him time and be patient.
But what do you think? Is it just modern day football where fans are just impatient? Because maybe it's easier for me on the outside looking in, but I'm always an advocate of giving managers 2 years, because unless you're at risk of relegation, Chelsea's money is not slowing down. They've got money. That's not an issue. Even if they were to, for example, miss out on the Champions League, they've still got the money to fund and get back in. But if you don't give a manager like Sarri, who's, especially his style of football is completely different to the previous manager, Conte, the manager before, Jose Mourinho, it's completely different football. So you have to give that time. But it seems like the moment a manager, the form drops or anything like that, fans are just out. Sarri out. So okay, Sarri out for who? Because we've seen it with AVB.
Exactly.
He was in for 8 months, maybe he got sacked. We've seen it Luis Felipe Scolari. Ancelotti played brilliant football and he got sacked in the second season after winning the double. And then now Sarri's in, and it's like, are you gonna give the man? Are you gonna give the man time, or are you just happy with winning a trophy, dropping, sacking the manager, winning a trophy, dropping? Because surely as a fan, that becomes tiresome, surely.
It is, and the thing is, the main point from what I saw when we actually hired Sarri was that we were looking to try and change the format of how we play football. Again, Abramovich came to the club and he wanted us to play sexy brand of football, and we didn't really in the first few years. Yes, we were winning trophies, but he wasn't really happy with how we were playing. That's why he wasn't reluctant to get rid of Mourinho in that third season. And then obviously we tried with AVB and we tried with Scolari, but we were so concentrated on trying to make us an elite club that we couldn't afford any failure. Now we kind of cemented ourselves as one of the top clubs in England and in Europe. We kind of can afford to maybe have a year or two out of the Champions League. Yes, it's not ideal because of the money that it brings, and obviously the revenue of bringing in top players. But let's say for Cardi, for instance, who maybe is wanted to leave. it's going to be hard for him to come to us if we're playing in the Europa League next season.
If a Champions League club also comes in for it.
Exactly. But then we need to actually have patience with this system because, again, as I said with Klopp, Pep Guardiola, many other managers across Europe, it's not always going to just be a quick fix where they're going to come in and win you the league straight away. That we've been quite an anomaly in that situation. So we have to be patient. Fans, I know as hard as it is, we have to be patient with the system and with the manager. So
there we go. Appreciate both your views on that. We are going to jump into some of your calls now, Man United fans, and of course fans of Chelsea want to come on and have their say. The number. Why when I move into the middle of my desk am I now on the left hand side? That is so weird. I'm gonna have to move this way. There we go. Back there a bit. Let's get this in the middle. Let's get this right. There we go. I have to sit completely. It's gonna give me a sore back. There we go. Anyway, give us your calls now. Javerne, ready for them as and when you are, please, my friend. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name? Barty, who do you support, mate?
I support Chelsea.
You're a Chelsea fan. Do us a favour, please. Turn your device down in the background.
Okay.
It happens all the time.
Thank you. And look, what's your thoughts on that game? Man United, comfortable winners. How you feeling?
Yeah, I think... Well, I wouldn't think I'd be saying Serie A at this minute, but he's paying... and it's just not good enough. Jorginho is more attacking.
Okay.
And he's paying a defensive midfielder more attacking when we should play him as a CDM.
Okay, so I mean, Danny, what's your thought? You were talking off camera about fans that are doing this. What's your thoughts and feelings on it?
So his name's Barty, right?
Yes.
Barty, yeah. So I want to ask you one question quickly. Can you recall any games, and if so, tell me, please, when Kante played as a single pivot DM for us, ever, or even for Leicester, basically in English football, has he ever played as a DM by himself?
No.
No. Okay, good. That is the right answer because he never has for us. And the reason why is, again, people will say that, he's the best DM in the world, and that isn't incorrect. He is one of the best DMs for sure, but he's never actually played as a single pivot DM. And while it's important to have those defensive abilities in maybe deeper areas, what Kante offers us going forward is, yes, he's also a great dribbler and also he can pick a pass up. We saw multiple times today. He's also able to win the ball for us up the field, and that is important to how Sarri plays, and that's why he wants him in that position. And as for Jorginho, he wants him there as a reducer to be able to make the passes through the midfield. Yeah, he wasn't great today, let's be real. I mean, I'm calling him George as it is right now. He's not called Jorginho.
He don't deserve the Enya.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve it as it is, but again, that's how Sarri ball works. He couldn't play Kante in that position and have Jorginho going forward because it wouldn't work in how... I mean, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, but it wouldn't work how you're kind of saying how Kante needs to be the DM because he's better defensively. That just doesn't... That's just not how modern football works. And again, Daniel, just to make this one point, if you saw the Napoli team, Allen was better defensively than Jorginho, but you played Allen further forward because he could win the ball up high up the field, and that's what made Napoli very good, and that's what made them actually almost able to win the league.
But is the issue not that... you could say, I'm not saying even change Kante's position, because the role that he wants Jorginho to do, Kante can't do that, which is cool. But then you have to question whether Jorginho is good enough to do this in the Premier League, because what the issue is that Kante will go forward and win the ball. But if he doesn't win the ball and the team counter-attacks, Jorginho hasn't got the physical ability to track runners, he's not an anchor man to put in the tackles, etc. So then you end up having a bunch of attackers countering on a defense because Jorginho can't keep up. So you surely, in that position, you need someone who, yes, can dictate the play, but has to be physically better. And Jorginho hasn't proved that he can.
George is very susceptible to the counter-attack. He's not athletic, and we've seen it many times. Pogba running past him today. I think it was De Bruyne running past him against Man City. So he is vulnerable in those areas. So but just to ask Barty a question, right? Barty, I got it right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts and feelings with Sarri and just the rest of the season as a whole? I mean, let's say we finish 6th, worst case scenario, we don't win a Europa League. Would you be patient enough to say that we should see it out with Sarri and let's say get more players in? Because personally, I don't think these players are good enough to play Sarri ball. Do you feel like we should get rid of him if we finish 6th? Do you feel like we should get another manager, maybe go back to defensive football? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think if he doesn't win the trophy this season and he carries on, I think we should get rid of him. He's putting on the defender when we're losing 2-0. And we need to give Hudson-Odoi a chance. He looks like he will leave in the summer if we don't give him a chance. And I just Sarri done well in the Serie A with Napoli, and he had good players, but he didn't win a trophy. And the Premier League's a lot different to Serie A.
There we go. Listen, really do appreciate your views, mate. Thank you very much for your call. Take care. The draw is now happening. We're going to bring that to you live, and after that, we will jump into some more calls. Number 6 comes out. Swansea City at home. Darren Fletcher there putting his hands.
Who did you say you wanted?
So as a Man United fan, I want Man United or Man City or away to Swansea. How easy is it?
I know! They've got what? Who is it? Newport? Who did they get in the first round?
But they got some NEP.
Some had beat them 9-0 or something.
I wanted Man United. Man United.
They got better than the League Cup as well.
I wanted Man United to draw City at home because
Rotherham they got.
That's the only chance United have got to beat City.
Even the Champions League, Schalke, like, come on, they're getting some nice draws, man. I don't know who it is.
Watford versus Wolves. Crystal Palace. Wow. United are going to go away to Wolves.
I know, it is, isn't it?
United are going away to Wolves, I'm telling you.
Arsenal, Chelsea.
Good Lord, imagine Millwall
Number
United.
1, Wolves, and it'll be number 5, Man United. Just going to let you know that now. What's this?
The Bulls are heated.
Come on.
Number 5.
Yeah, look at that!
Yes!
What is it?
But hang on. What I would say, going away to Wolves is not as difficult as beating Arsenal at the Emirates and Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. So it's hard, but
you say that. But
equally though, what I would say, I'll ask you this as a Man United fan based on that draw. If you manage to get through this next round, get to a semis, get to a final, nobody can question you as a Man United fan that you've had an easy run. You've not played anybody. You've knocked out two of the two biggest London teams. You've knocked them out back to back in the FA Cup. Are you proud of that as a Man United fan?
Well, I'm happy that we've beaten both of them away from home. Like, for me, that's the biggest thing about that. Especially when you consider that, you look at Man City, the neighbours, and they're getting this, like, they're basically getting a bye into the next round. But Wolves away, it's going to be a difficult game. We see what team we will be able to put out for that game, injuries, etc. But it's a competition we need to be going to win. Ollie said it when he came in. He wants to go for the FA Cup. Realistically, we're not going to go through in the Champions League, let alone win it. Yeah. So the FA Cup, listen, we take Wolves, innit? We take Wolves, take them as they come. The harder they come, the harder they fall. And if we have to play Man City in the final, we have to play Man City in the final. It's as simple as that. I'm not like Man City are right now the best team in England. Yeah. But as a Man United fan, I can't be scared of Man City. No, I want to play. Granted, my Old Trafford, Etihad, Wembley, whatever. But I want to play Man City, and every time we play Man City, I want to beat Man City and show that Manchester is still red. So if we have to get them in the final and make their tears even better, then so be it.
I get that. I get that completely. Who did you get in the other? Sorry, I'm joking. I
mean, to be fair, I'm celebrating it. I mean, that's the only thing I've been able to celebrate today. In fact, the 2 times I've been coming, I need to see my team win a game when I come to these studios. But yeah, you know what it is. I wish you guys the best. I mean, hopefully you guys go trophyless again, like you did last year when we beat in the final. But
how does that affect you? How does that affect you then if we go trophyless?
You know what? For me personally, I grew up in an era where United were dominant, and this was the best Chelsea era, and yet still United were dominant, winning more league titles, beating us in Champions League finals. And I mean, I was a kid at that time, so I'll tell you now, I was crying when we lost that final. Terry slipping, and it was madness. But so I don't mind seeing United go trophyless. Like, I feel the pain that I felt when we were going trophyless and you guys were beating us. And again, for us to make it go trophyless back-to-back years, that would have been. I would have taken great pleasure in that. Of course, we lost today, so
you tweeted me 3 times about that. So.
Yeah, I gotta hold the L in it. It is what it is, man. But yeah,
no, I get that completely. I will say you phoned the studio maybe 2 weeks ago and spoke about Man United, and you said they get beat by Paris Saint-Germain. They were right. You said they'd go trophyless and that they wouldn't get anything at Stamford Bridge. Yeah. I mean, from your point of view as a Chelsea fan, did you expect to have such a slump in form coming into this game?
Wow. I mean, who could foresee losing 4-0 to Bournemouth, right? Like, you just couldn't foresee those kind of things. I thought we would take a bit of an uptake in form with Higuain coming in, but no, I didn't see this at all happening. So it's a surprise. And then going into today, I was a little bit less confident, especially with the lineup. And again, these things happen. I think this happened even last season. Our form kind of took a dip in this January form, and Conte didn't make any switches tactically with the team. And again, it came to Sarri. Obviously, he's not going to change the system. Fair enough. We've hired you for this system. We wanted to make it work and play great football, cool. But you can see that Alonso's dying on the pitch. This guy is not doing well. Pedro has been part of 2 back-to-back annihilations. This guy can't be starting another game against a top team like this. So we've got to make changes, and we're not making those changes.
You mentioned about you were confident going into the game until you saw the lineup, which you said off air.
Yeah.
But I've heard Willian get slated all season. I've heard Alonso get slated. I've heard Willian. Some quarters have said David Luiz ain't a good defender, which we know his fallibility is there, but he's a good player overall. We heard Jorginho get slated.
George.
We've heard Aspilicueta not get slated, but that he's not the player that he was, which is fair enough legs.
Yeah.
So which Chelsea team were you expecting? Because that's half the team.
So I mean, I was expecting Kepa and goal. Fair enough, he started. Emerson. I mean, Alonso's horrible, but we've beaten that drum. I did expect Willian to start, and I feel like he offers more in these kind of games. Again, 1v1 against Luke Shaw. I feel like he can do better. Yes, Willian. I feel like it's unfortunate for him. He's born in an era where the two teams he plays for, they happen to have the two best left wingers of this generation in Neymar and Hazard. So he's not going to get the best of him, which is cut inside off the left end, maybe shooting on the top corner, like we saw against Barcelona last year in the Champions League, where hit the post twice and scored a screamer. So we're not going to get the best of him on the right, but I still feel like a diminished Willian is much better than Pedro, who, to be fair, your good friend have hope. He hasn't been relevant since 2011. I still feel like that's actually a valid point. I don't think he's been relevant for a very long time. Have hope.
No, what about who's not been irrelevant?
Pedro's been irrelevant since 2011. I feel that's a relative point. I feel that's a very fair point.
He scored in that final, isn't it, against us?
Since that point.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He's been decent since
then,
but he's not been the same player.
We wanted him. We wanted to sign him when you lot got him, and you stole him from us. So,
it's kind of funny. We have a trend of stealing dead players from you. Pedro, Willian could have went to you guys. To be fair, John Obi Mikel was decent.
But you're saying dead players.
Yeah,
maybe dead now. William was a baller.
Oh no,
William was, and one thing which William was.
He was very good. Yeah.
I'm not saying he was the best player in the world, but he was a baller.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Chelsea fans give him stick. And we might even get onto this. But in that slump season, the Jose Mourinho last year, he was the only player that, off the top of my head anyway, especially attacking-wise anyway, who was playing week in, week out, 7 out of 10, 7 out of 10, and he might give it 8 out of 10. Yeah, because he's now, past his best, he gets slated like he's never been good for you. Whereas there's players, I'm not going to name no names, but there's players who, in those down seasons, will just down tools drop and then wait for the next manager to come in. Happy to see a manager go. That because now they're playing well, everything's hunky-dory. Well, what about when things was going bad? Where were you? William was doing his job. It might not be as good as, his best might not be as good as other players' best, but he was doing his job. He needs some respect.
That's true to a point, and again, I don't want to take anything away from William that season, but most of his best performances came in the first 4 to 5 months, up until January, where he was scoring a ridiculous amount of free kicks, even though some of them were indirect. But again, I won't take anything away from him. He was great those first few months, and at the end of the season, he petered away, but I don't blame him for that. It's just when it comes to this season and even last season, in our title-winning seasons, he's never registered more than 10 goals or 10 assists. He's never really been a major player in those title wins. In fact, it was more Pedro who was a better effective, so maybe he was relevant to a degree, but again, he certainly is a player with great. You know what, Sterling, right? Sterling's not got amazing ability, but his end product is he's producing a lot more on the pitch. And I feel with William, he's got great ability, great pace, he's got a great ability to shoot from distances, but you just don't see it on a consistent basis. So there's so many bad decision making. I think that's the key part. He has such bad decision making in the final third where it should be a lot better for a player of his standing and a player of his ability. And I feel like we would have seen more of him had he maybe fixed up some of the errors in his game.
I understand that. We've got a tweet we're going to put up on the screen now. I wanted to read this out. We are going to take some more calls and do more calls for the rest of the show now. But you've seen this come out here, and this is Pogba involved in 24 goals this season, but people won't rate him because he takes pens and had a bad game versus Paris Saint-Germain. As you were though, you have to 24 goal contributions from a central midfielder is phenomenal.
Ridiculous.
It's phenomenal. And let me ask you this as a Man United fan. Why do people, very quick answer before we jump into the calls, why do people play Paul Pogba down?
I'll say it now. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The only people that don't rate Paul Pogba as a footballer are people that hate Paul Pogba as a person. It's as simple as that. Because you can't look at him on a football pitch and not rate him. So you obviously don't like him as a person. Whether you don't like his tweets, you don't like his hairstyle, or you just don't like.
Do you not think it can just be a combination of like rival clubs? I see the majority of the hate he gets tends to come from Liverpool fans, Chelsea fans, Arsenal fans, supporters of clubs from in the Championship and League One. All think he's brilliant. It seems to be rival fans.
Yeah, but when they talk about Paul Pogba and how they don't like him or whatever, don't rate him, it's very rarely to do with football. They start talking about personal things, about he only plays when he wants to, or why is he tweeting X, or why is he saying Y?
Let's put those people aside. What about the people that legitimately think he's a flat track bully? He doesn't perform in big games. Let's talk about his football.
Well, they don't watch Paul Pogba. Even last season, obviously we finished second, way behind Man City, but there are games that I can pick out. Let's say the second half against Man City, where he was the driving force behind that turnaround, him and Alexis Sanchez. The game we played against Arsenal, we beat them 3-1 at the Emirates. Dominated that midfield, dominated the game. I think he got a goal and assist or 2 assists. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah.
And there's many big games he turns up in them, but for some reason, let's just talk about France. Like people will say, "Oh, Kante carried Pogba in the World Cup." Kante played poor in that final. He was ill, but he played poor. Pogba scored and had a very dominant performance in that final.
Yeah.
Even the group stage where France didn't play very well, going through the group stages, he was getting crucial moments. I think the goal against Australia was given as an assist instead of own goal, but he was a very key player for France. So you can't look on the pitch with an unbiased opinion and say Paul Pogba doesn't perform in the big game.
I absolutely get that.
He does.
Another comment we're going to put up here. This is from Junior Designs. He says Pogba was and always has been a fantastic midfielder. And before we jump into calls, Danny, just to echo, I know you spoke about him earlier. Do you think people that disrespect Paul Pogba's footballing ability, do you think they're just hating on him because he's Paul Pogba and he's a Man United player? Do you actually think any of them make any valid points as to why he's not a world-class midfielder?
I think there are some valid points as to maybe think that there's errors in his game. Sometimes he does give the ball away sloppily in midfield. Sometimes defensively he can be a bit lapsed. But again, I've always looked at him as like a number 8, like an Iniesta. And we don't judge Iniesta on his defensive work or how he does in the defensive third, let's say, in the defensive phase. I thought you look at Pogba because he's 6'3", he's a big black French guy. Oh, he should be able to defend like Sissoko and all these things. It's like, come on, look at his ability. Look who can play the ball 50 yards, who can run and score goals like Frank. Look at the stats we saw on the screen. Those are Frank Lampard numbers. It's ridiculous. Yeah. And you know what I look at? I look at when he's not on the pitch for United. Again, the Arsenal game when he got the red card actually, and you went on a few games about him, including the Man City game. You guys were horrible about him. Your midfield did not look the same. Even France, when we didn't play with him in the World Cup against Peru. No, that was the worst game I watched at the World Cup. It was horrible. When United doesn't play for his team, when Pogba doesn't play for his teams, you can see a big drop off in the midfield, and he's world class. There's no doubt about it.
There we go. Thank you very much for that comment, Junior Designs. If anybody else wants their comments read out via YouTube, please do the super chat function, and we will read out each and every single one of them. Let's jump into an onslaught of calls now. Let's hear from the fans and what they have got to say.
I've just seen one there. David Luiz's man of the match for Man United.
Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Hi there, my name's Ash and I'm a Chelsea fan.
Okay, you're a Chelsea fan, beaten 2-0. Very unlucky. Well, you're not going to win any major silverware this year. How disappointed are you?
So I've got 3 things to say. First of all, congratulations, Manchester United. Completely dominated the game. Paul Pogba, I heard what you said, but we don't rate him. Unbelievable player. Unbelievable. Second thing I want to say is Maurizio Sarri. I was very excited about him coming to the team, coming to manage his team initially. There was a lot of credentials, like everyone. I watched his videos about Napoli online, and then it's just come here. He's come here and he's flopped completely. And I don't buy that he hasn't got the players for this system. I feel that it's a combination of two. He hasn't got the players, and he's also tactically inept. He's only played one system his entire career, and it's not working here. He needs to adapt.
So you're saying he needs to adapt. I understand that. Right now, would you be happy if Chelsea were to sack him?
I'll be very happy. Very happy.
So you are completely sorry out. You want him gone from your club.
Today I became sorry out.
Wow, that's a really big bold statement. What apart from what else you've said, I mean, what other things about Sarri? Why does he give you no faith? Why would you not give him another summer, some more signings?
Let me put this to Daniel. Actually, when you watch a Chelsea game over the last few months, and you're looking for some sort of the play slowed down, you're trying to get into the game, it might be 0-0, and you think he could bring on Callum Hudson-Odoi, he could bring on Loftus-Cheek, and in the 65th minute he swaps Barkley for who? Kovacic.
Yeah.
Today, 82nd minute, where we need to have some where we've got the ball, where we put United on the back. Who do we bring on? Zappa Costa. It's not there. You know what I mean? He's not got it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I hear
has no sauce.
Yeah.
No sauce. Is Eden Hazard not sauce?
He tried so hard today, and what hurts me the most is I know in that changing room, Sarri's going to go and criticise his attitude.
You can't criticize actually based on today. I'll tell you that for a fact because he definitely Chelsea's best player.
You know, I can't like
most of the time he is.
No, I just want to jump in and I think his name's Ash, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he makes a lot of good points. Like I agree with pretty much everything he said, other than sorry out. And my only point to that is, again, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. He has looked tactically inept at times, and maybe he should adapt his system or at least find maybe you should find more use for other personnel. Hudson-Odoi should definitely be seeing more minutes than what he has been. So my question to you is, if Sarri's out, what does that say about the club in terms of, we should be moving forward in a new philosophy and maybe trying to play better attacking football? And I mean, what manager are we going to get in now that's going to do a better job?
I was watching FanPark live a few weeks ago, right? And I think Chelsea fans have been playing themselves. But Terry put it perfectly. Chelsea have been I hate saying this, but Chelsea have been a very efficient, multi-million pound version of Stoke. They have. They played defensive football on the counter-attack. Long balls to Drogba, get him in, goal. But people are going to hate me for saying this, but it's true. Getting Sarri was... I admire the effort to try and change the philosophy of the club. I just think that it was the wrong person. This is a person whose greatest achievement is taking a team from Serie B to Serie A. That's not levels for Chelsea.
Can I ask you a question on that? So,
yes.
If you look at, say, what a lot of Chelsea fans who are supportive of Sarri may say is, if you look at Jurgen Klopp, who has won league titles, he's actually won major trophies in Germany. He went to Liverpool, and it took him, nigh on 3 years to get his football to its absolute best. It took 3 years to make them challenge and come close to winning a major trophy. It's taken nearly 4 years to make them contenders for the title. Sarri's job, in many Chelsea fans' eyes, they deem harder because, as you put it, you're undoing 15 years of rich man Stoke football. How do you expect any manager with a forward-thinking, progressive philosophy to change a 15-year system inside 6 months? How is that possible in your opinion, mate?
Okay, so with Jurgen Klopp, I don't think the expectation was as high as it would be at Chelsea. If you compare the squad that Jurgen inherited with, Skirtle and Balotelli and all those players, we have Eden Hazard. He's got Gonzalo Higuain. He's got a decent centre back pairing of Rudiger and David Luiz. And I guess Chelsea fans have become accustomed to this sort of come in and try to have some high level success. Conte kind of set the bar for what we expect from new coaches. And me as a Chelsea fan, I looked at Sarri and I was like, look, we need to give this guy some time. What I mean by some time is the results. Yeah, we can lose a couple of games. Yeah, we can draw a couple of games, but we must always have our eyes on top four, being in contention for top four. Right now, we're being called Banter FC by Arsenal. By Arsenal.
They're just salty fans.
I know, yeah, you can't take that. Listen, I'm gonna say there's a comment that came earlier saying Chelsea had a new banter club. Every week, Arsenal fans keep trying to take the mantle of the crown and give it to someone else. Arsenal, you are the banter club. Until we say otherwise, you are the banter club.
Didn't they just hold an L off of Barty
People
Borisov?
try to call United the new banter club. People forget United's history. People forget United is a team with class, with flair, and it has a vibrant history. With Arsenal, they've been losing. Who did they lose to? Barty.
Exactly.
And I'll tell you were struggling to say the name in it. It's Barty. It's definitely Barty.
What is Barty? Mate, the point is, it doesn't matter what the name is.
Yeah.
They went their post-match dinner was at Burger King. They went Burger King.
Barclays Loans FC.
The only other time I've known like a business or like a group of co-workers to go to Burger King was when Double Glazman used to do their like interviews in Burger Kings in the 80s to hire people. That's how bad it is for Arsenal. I get that. Listen, let me ask you one more thing.
The only claim to fame they have is their season unbeaten. And sooner or later, they're going to melt down that gold trophy for transfer funds anyways.
I want to put one more thing to you here. Can we get this comment up on the screen, please, Javern? It's from Junior Designs again. Talking about Sarri. He says that his substitutions are so predictable. We're going to get this up, Javern? Yeah, he says his substitutions are so predictable, I feel bad for Hudson-Odoi. And... I mean, what do you make of that? Like, you've got this young, talented player that was getting game time when Bayern Munich was sniffing around, and as soon as the January window has been shut, Chelsea are now doing what they've done to every academy player for over 10 years, shunted back on the bench into the stands, and will probably end up playing somewhere in Belgium next season.
He didn't even start against Malmo.
Exactly.
What's your thoughts on the handling of Hudson-Odoi? Is that Sarri's fault, or is that indicative of Chelsea Football Club?
Before I answer, do you mind if I flip this question to Neeks quickly?
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right, Neeks. When Mourinho was at United, and he benched Pogba. Pogba for me is the best player in Europe right now. He benched Pogba, right? Do you see similarities with what Sarri is doing to Hudson-Odoi? Do you call it bullying? Because for me, what I'm looking at right now is he's being bullied for making a decision about his career. I love Hudson-Odoi. I love Chelsea, but I'm a Chelsea fan. I want what's best for my club, and if he wants to leave, he can leave.
I don't see it as bullying, because if I don't understand, like, if they want to keep him, you play him, because that's the reason he wants to leave. If you don't want to keep him, or you don't want to play him, you sell him. So I can't see the same between Pogba and Hudson-Odoi, because for me, Pogba was a proven player at that point. We knew he was the best player in the team. If for some reason he started benching Hazard because Hazard mentioned that he wants to go to Real Madrid, yes, I think you can do some comparisons there. Hudson-Odoi being benched is probably somewhere if he was to start have benching Rashford,
which he was at.
Rashford has played the most minutes under Jose than any other player,
but never starts though.
He had about 50% start, 50% bench. But Hudson-Odoi isn't even getting minutes, and I'm like, obviously we know. You mentioned it. You said that Chelsea fans, I believe it was you anyway. You said Chelsea fans, they're about instant success. The question is that Sarri has to ask himself: is Hudson-Odoi gonna produce that instant success more so than Willian and Pedro? I would argue at this stage, yes. Maybe
you would.
At the start of the season, you might have said no because he's young. But at this stage, it can't really get. Yeah, you've seen enough. It can't really get any worse. Hudson-Odoi deserves to play because it can't get any worse than Pedro and Willian so far.
It can't.
Do you know
it can't. We got two of the oldest wingers in the league.
Just to put this out there in context, so since the end of the January transfer window, he played 90 minutes against Nottingham Forest, and then only 9 minutes against Newcastle, 10 minutes against Arsenal. He got a full 90 minutes against Sheffield Wednesday, and then 13 minutes at Huddersfield, and 6 minutes at Malmo, and of course 0 minutes tonight. So you can see, and you compare that to December, like between the whole of December, 90 minutes in the Europa League twice, 42 minutes against Watford. Like, he was playing much more football. So Chelsea have absolutely done one on him. They really have. But listen, mate, I really do appreciate your call. Thank you very, very much. Cheers.
Yeah, take care, lads.
Cheers.
It's actually disappointing, even as a neutral fan. This is a young player, and obviously you as an England fan, for example, and many England fans out there.
Absolutely. We've got to jump into some more calls here. We've got some more people waiting, but no, I agree with you. As an England, what? Yeah, there we go. Top man.
He has to play, man. It's ridiculous.
Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Hi, my name is James.
Hello, James. Who do you support, mate?
I'm a Chelsea fan.
You sounded like a Chelsea fan. You sounded like a Chelsea fan. Listen, where do you sit on this? A lot of callers tonight, a lot of commenters want Sarri sacked. Where do you sit on this argument and debate?
To be honest, right now I'm on the fence, because there's some things that I just can't accept. His treatment of Alonso, his treatment of Emerson, his treatment of Hudson-Odoi. These are just unacceptable. And the guy is just too rigid. He's stuck in his ways. At the end of the day, we have objectives this season. We need to get into the Champions League. I understand you have a philosophy to implement, but you have to realize that you don't actually have the players for it at this moment in time. So it's up to you as a manager to be a bit more flexible and make some changes. Right now in attack, it's obvious to everyone. You hear Mourinho, you hear Oli, you hear all these managers coming out talking about, our patterns are so easy, are easy to understand. It's literally before games, I'm literally always listening to this, and it's just mate, just make a few changes. We look toothless in attack, we're not doing anything. Higuain went from a poor Milan team that had no service to a team that probably has even worse service right now.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question on that as a Chelsea fan? We had a lot of your fellow supporters phone me on this show and say, as soon as we get a proven goal scorer, and I consider Higuain to be one, that you would see everything click into gear, Hazard would look better, performances would be better. Do you think it's purely the system that's creating the issues, or do you agree with Sarri that some players are just not giving their all to make this system work?
It's not about the players giving their all. I think the players are giving their all, to be honest. After today's performance, I generally think that they're giving their all. But some players, for example, the fullbacks, that's a major problem. It's never going to work with the fullbacks you have. As soon as these teams are coming and playing this 4-3-1-2 diamond midfield and just congesting the midfield and leaving us space on the flanks And again, absolutely, they know that we're toothless on the flanks, so we're getting dominated basically. Like United just had to. We dominated the ball today. All United had to do was just sit in front of the middle and just make sure Hazard doesn't cut in. That's why as soon as United scored, Oli started telling Young to follow Hazard inside. And that's all. He literally told him that, and so that because he knew that's what we would do. Like he knew that we can't do anything on the flank, so it's obvious now.
Can I just say something?
To make a change.
In defense of Sarri, because I said I'm not a fan of managers being sacked, especially not mid-season, unless they're it's really. If Chelsea were bottom half of the table, yeah, that's another question. But you look at Pep Guardiola. You mentioned Klopp. I'm going to mention Pep. His first season at Man City. Got him Claudio Bravo, absolutely terrible keeper.
Flop.
Everyone was saying, Joe Hart, why is Joe Hart not playing? Joe Hart needs to play, Claudio not good enough. But Claudio Bravo could do the job better than Joe Hart. Wasn't good enough, according to Pep Guardiola. So they basically kept him in all season. I think the Caballero may have come in a few games at some stage. Yeah. But Claudio Bravo was pretty much there all season. And at the end of the year, got rid of him, got in Edison, someone who can do it better. Pep Guardiola played. He had the two fullbacks, Zabaleta and I think Kolarov. Were the fullbacks. Old fullbacks ain't got the legs to play how Pep wants, but he had to play them. And in other positions, whoever the players were that he had to make do with, that's what he did. Then in the summer after, he bought the players that fit the system, and everything clicked together. Now, if Sarri goes back on the reason he was hired, it creates more problems than it does good, because the players are then like, you don't even trust your own system. Now you were changing to 3 at the back, and now we're going diamond, and now we're going 4-4-2. Sorry, saying this is my system, this is how I was hired. We're gonna play it, and he might one second. He may be willing to kind of test Roman to say, well, you're either gonna sack me, or you're gonna back me in the summer to get players to play the system that you asked me to do. And for me, if you bring in a manager from Napoli, you have to say, this is your team, this is your system, this is what we want to play. Now we're going to go out and get the players. So I back him in that regard.
I hear what you're saying, but at the end of the day, the man is a coach. He's a coach before anything else. He said this in his first interview. He was talking about how he's a coach before he's a manager, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't need to buy players and all that. It's not like the guy's like he doesn't know other systems. He's played a 4-3-1-2. Obviously, we can't do that right now, but he's played other systems. It's obvious that the players right now cannot deal with this system. We look absolutely shocking in attack. Like, we are not creating anything against any decent defensive team. We look so poor. It's not him retracting or something, or saying that he's not like sticking to his philosophy by just changing a bit of the tactics. That's not the case. It's just switching it for right now. At this moment in time, we have objectives. I'm sure one of his objectives was top 4. I'm sure that was one of his objectives. And right now, it's not looking like we're going to get top 4 at all. So just make a change like this. Jorginho, I understand his role and everything. Like, I'm not a Jorginho hater or anything like that. I respect the guy's ability, but the last time I saw a so-called Regista work in the Premier League was that Xabi Alonso, maybe. Like, literally, that's how long ago it was. I get it. The guy he has to. I agree. Like, I'm not sorry out. I haven't said I'm sorry out. But the guy needs to make some tweaks. Like, this is not. We're gonna finish 6th at this rate, or even 5th. Like, we're not doing anything unless we win the Europa League. That's the only chance we have. Because right now, we're looking poor.
Mate, I understand exactly what you're saying. Thank you very much for your call. Cheers. Sorry. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to take some more calls from you now as well. We've got a few super chats. We've got a super chat here we're going to put up onto the screen before we take the next call. Just bear with me 1 second if we're going to get this up. Where you at? Hang on. There we go. Yeah, that should be up on the screen now. This is from Mr. Glenn Johnson. I'm going to have to... That's very small for me to read from the distance I'm away from it. You guys can see it. He says, Herrera, in his post-game interview, says one of the hardest things for a manager is to click with the players, and Oli has done that very well. Even the bench players and players not playing give their all. Ace. And I think it's a big shout out to Oli, because he got a lot of criticism after losing to Paris Saint-Germain. But again, he's beat Arsenal away, Spurs away, and Chelsea away from home.
It's a London takeover, man.
It is, yes, honestly. They say that Manchester United dominate London. Well, it's true. It is true right now.
Can I also
Absolutely
say,
is.
'cause one of the things he got criticised against PSG was whether he was, tactically outclassed. And PSG, I think, footballing-wise, they outclassed us. You could say tactically as well, but I think their players is better than us. Today, we didn't have Martial, we didn't have Lingard, and he went to what I hoped he did, or hoped he would do, similar to Arsenal, where he had the two strikers pushed wide, and he had Mata in the number 10 hole / false 9, and it worked perfectly. So, yes, against PSG, the tactics or the players weren't good enough, but today it was. So you just have to. But I want to see if those people who are criticising tactically against PSG are they going to give him credit today.
Completely agree. We've got another super chat here from Mr. Singh, which I'm going to read out to you. He says Pogba plays with ease, and he is not rated.
So he's not rated.
So he's not rated. Looks at the way he brushes off Barkley, who has 3 minutes gallops into the final third, plays like Sanchez. He doesn't huff and puff, which is quality rated in England. I kind of get what you're saying there, but I appreciate the super chat. Look, Pogba, I think Pogba's one of these players. I put Harry Kane into this category, amongst others. No matter what he does, he could score a hat-trick in a Champions League final and then go and score a hat-trick a month later in a World Cup final. There will still be doubters and people that dislike him for the rest of his career, no matter what he does on the football pitch. And I think the rest of us that like him, we'll just spend our time enjoying it and let the rest of you hate. We've got a few more super chats, but we'll jump into a phone call first. I know we've got many waiting to get on the air and give us their views and opinions. By the way, I'll do that after. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
What's going on, Mr. Lewis?
Hello, man like Mo. What's going on, bro?
For this guy.
Yo, listen, I love the victory tonight, man.
I bet you did. Chelsea beaten at home by Man United. Did you expect that to happen? Because you sounded nervous at the weekend.
No, I did, but it's because they always seem to turn up against us. And we got the job done. We're into the quarterfinals. Wolves bring on.
I know you sound very, very happy.
Yeah.
Listen, I like this Mo. I like this Mo because the last year or so, anytime Mo calls, it ain't been a good day.
Yo,
but yeah.
Nick's allow it.
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying I'm happy that you're happy, and it makes me happy. Innit? Obviously, Man United's through. But what did you? Obviously, we didn't have Martial, we didn't have Lingard, so I was even more worried going into the game. Were you happy with the way that Solskjaer kind of coped with it and adapted without two of our best three attackers?
Yeah, you done well, man. I mean, Mata, Sanchez, Mata, he done quite well, man. I think he was playing number 10, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I think he made a lot of good. He was build up towards the goal, innit? And then Pogba said, "Do you know what? Yeah, you see Pogba, he's on another level, man. Yeah, just on another level."
What have you made of Pogba's form in the last 2 months? It's 9 goals and 6 assists. He's contributed 24 goals for the entirety of the season. What's your message to Liverpool fans and Arsenal fans out there that try and play this young man down, try to discredit what he does on the football pitch? What's your message to them?
I'm not going to comment on that, Terry. I'm not going to comment on that. Leave it. Let them. I'm not commenting on that. Let's just get to Liverpool. Let's see what happens, man. It's a different ball game when we play them. I mean, I am a little bit worried because of the attack, but I'm sure if we play very well, we turn up, we can beat them.
I agree.
I think so.
I felt the Liverpool game, obviously at home, we got Man City maybe a few weeks later. Actually, I think probably been postponed now because of the Capital One Cup final, Carabao Cup. But both of those games at home are massive games. Like massive games for obviously us being derbies, but just for Oli as well. If he hasn't, obviously his name right now for me is at the top of the list in terms of permanent managers. Now, if he was to go and win those games, like you pretty much have to give it. Like there'll probably be a riot outside Old Trafford if he won those 2 games and then he didn't get the job, because those are pretty much the 2 biggest games of the season.
No, I get that completely. Mo, how confident are you though going into this weekend against Liverpool now?
Listen, my heart says we can do it. My heart says we can't. Let's see what happens. I'll be watching, man.
Did you say your heart says you can do it and your arse says you can't?
No, I said my heart says we can win it, and my heart says we won't win it.
Oh, so your
My
heart,
heart-
your heart sounds like it's got bipolar.
No.
I thought when you said, actually, it would make more sense. You said my heart says yes and my ass says no because I'm shitting myself. I would
No,
get
you
that.
misheard me what I said, mate.
I
You
did.
misheard me what I
I
said.
did mishear you. In terms of some other people tonight, in Hazard, what do you make of his performance?
Oh yeah, I hope he's not there, is he?
He's protege.
You know what it is? I think his head's not into it, man. I don't think his mindset's somewhere else, man. He's not focusing. That's the problem with him. He's inconsistent. He has been for God knows for the last couple of games, but sure he'll pick it up.
I agree with you totally, mate. Thank you for your call, Mo. Cheers, mate.
No worries, mate. See you. I'll call you in the weekend, mate. Yeah.
Cheers. Thank you. We had another super chat, but it's gone off of my system and I pick it out. I don't know where. Have we changed the feed into it?
Yeah, it's your feed.
No, this ain't my feed because it's not there. Okay, well I can't find it, but I will read the super chat out. I'm trying to search for it and I can't. But this is from Ashutosh, who says Hazard was dead. Personally, I think he wants to move. Pogba was world class. Thoughts on Oli tactically outclassing everyone else other than Paris Saint-Germain. I think Sarri will be sacked in the next 12 hours. Do you think it'll be Mourinho or Zidane that will replace him?
That's hilarious. No. Just to switch up the question that you said a bit. You know what? Yeah, they did outclass us, and he outclassed, I guess you could say, Poch and Emery as well. And you know what? As being a little bit cynical, I always thought United were the third best, at least, squad in the league. So
yeah,
you would kind of expect them to beat Tottenham, Arsenal, and Chelsea, but they are better teams on paper at least. But going into Liverpool and City, that's when you're facing teams on your level, if not higher. And that's why maybe let's see how you do against those teams. Because against PSG, yeah, you were bopped at home, and they showed that they were a level above. Is that going to be the same thing against Liverpool and Man City, who are clearly one of the best teams in Europe? Will it be the same, or is Oli going to show maybe he can learn from the PSG game and take it to them?
Look, what do you think as a Man United fan? What do you reckon?
Obviously, that is the big question. And he's pretty much, obviously, he's had his managerial experience at Cardiff, at Mulder. But he's kind of learning on the job because this is a massive, massive job. His biggest, arguably, I would say top 2, top 3 biggest jobs you could get in world football. Yeah. So he's definitely learning on the job. I don't think we'll lose against Liverpool. If we had Martial and Lingard, and we went in with the same form, i.e. beating Chelsea today, I will be confident of a win. Without Lingard and without Martial, I'm more saying we're not going to lose, so i.e. a draw. Because as good as the performance was today, the good tactics in terms of Mata in the number 10 role, which we haven't seen at Man United pretty much ever. Maybe the odd game here or there. Pogba, brilliant performance. Even at the back, Lindelof and Smalling, very, very, very good performances. Lukaku and Sanchez as the other option, obviously coming off the bench. As a Liverpool fan or a Liverpool player, they're not going to strike fear into you the way they're playing. Lingard and Martial, the name Lingard might not strike fair, but on the pitch will show that he's
been
effective,
balling out,
of course.
Sure.
But Lukaku and Sanchez ain't going to strike that, so I would say I'll take a draw.
I get that completely. Look, we're going to jump into a couple more calls before we end the stream this evening. Yeah, we can. Yeah, okay, we'll do that. Really not. It's not filtering as many through as you would expect.
On Twitter?
No, YouTube.
No, dude, let's do something from Twitter.
But there's no with hashtag FanPark Live.
No, just sorry, just for engagement.
How long do you give sorry?
How long? I mean, obviously, I'm giving him this season, and I would say we can criticize him this season, but I think we can judge him next season. That's how I would look. That's how I would look at it. I mean, I'd be shocked if we sack him because again, we've hired him to try and implement his system. So, yeah, I want to see how he does once we give him 2 more chance to win us. Obviously, there was this one that just happened in January, and then the one in the summer. Let's see if he gets fullbacks in and see if he can make the same changes that we saw Pep make to Man City.
Got a comment here we're going to put up on the screen. Wait for it to pop up before we read it out.
I'm not seeing my team score a goal in the studio, you know. It's freaking mad.
Don't come for the fight. Don't come for the Carabao Cup final, then.
Yeah, comment here says, I used to think that the problem is the players, but after today's game, it's glaring that the problem is the manager. He needs to change his philosophy. If not, Sarri out.
Philosophy? You can't change your philosophy. You can't change. As a manager, you cannot change your philosophy because that is what you are.
Putting another comment up here that you can see. Normally when someone is hired, they either have a good resume with experience, or they are an internal employee who has grown with the company. Sarri football club, cool. Sarri provided neither and is still got the job. Hashtag Sarri out. I guarantee you this Chelsea fan is American. When you refer to a football club as a company, you know that's from franchise background straight up. But I get the point.
Yeah.
Do you agree with him though?
No, but let me ask you guys a question. I'm sure you guys have lives outside of football, but did you guys watch the Napoli team under Sarri?
Not in Syria, so only European competition.
Okay, so you did see them against Man City. And you have probably seen them even this season. In terms of just player for player, do you feel like there were more Chelsea players who would get into that team or vice versa?
At this stage,
yeah.
At the beginning of the season, I would have said there would be more Chelsea players that would have got in. Based on the last, let's say, 6 months, it's clear to see that some of these Chelsea players are just not up to scratch.
I mean, the only reason why I bring that up is because, again, looking at how Sarri ball is necessary, how you need Sarri ball to play again, it's kind of been a coined term and maybe it's becoming a bit of a meme now, Sarri ball. But Sarri's system, you need fullbacks so you can progress the ball up the pitch. We've seen Alonso almost playing as like a false nine at times. How many times his best work comes inside the box, but we need a fullback who's going to be able to occupy that winger, take him back and allow Hazard, maybe make combinations with Hazard like we're seeing other top fullbacks do with Alaba and Coleman at Bayern Munich, with Messi and Alba at Barcelona. Another Robertson and Mane with Liverpool. We're not getting that from our fullbacks.
But the thing is, Daniel, because I've spoken, for example, about Alonso. Even when he was playing at wing back and he was bossing it going forward, I, for example, have been saying this guy cannot defend. The guy is crap. He cannot defend. He's not a good left back. But because he was getting the stats, he was maybe shooting from far and getting a free kick. Chelsea fans were happy. And even going into this season, Sarri ball. So I was like, what the hell is Sarri ball? What? It's football. That's his philosophy. Sarri ball. No one was talking about these players not being good enough at the start. No, I say no one. I didn't hear any Chelsea fans telling me that these players weren't good enough at the start of the season. Now that it's gone wrong, it was going wrong, should I say, these players are the issue. But I'm like, well, you wasn't saying that at the start. You were happy with, obviously you wanted certain signings, but they were happy with Alonso. They were happy with Rudiger and David Luiz. Hazard's now in an attacking team, therefore XYZ is going to happen.
Yeah.
We've got all of this.
I mean,
XYZ is not happening.
It's easy for me to say it now, but I maintain this at the start of the season. These players were not good enough. Conte even said it himself this time last season, I need to get more players, I need to get my players in, and that's why he was, again, we were linked to the likes of Ashley Barnes and Crouch in the January window, which is shocking, but he wanted to get players in that window because he knew that these players weren't good enough to maybe do their objective, maybe get top 4, which is what he wanted at that time. So I feel like these players, whilst they were able to win league titles in different systems, they were going to always be exposed in this system. Alonso maybe to you was bossing it when he was in the wing back role, but that's because we didn't play on the ball as much. He was able to get into the box and just score goals and maybe off the odd chance he'll score a free kick. But in terms of actually playing football, he's not a great fullback. That's just how it is. And yeah, these players we need to see more different players come into the system, and then that's when I'll properly judge Sarri and see if he's actually good enough to work. His philosophy of players is actually good enough to work in England. Otherwise, no, we have to give him a chance. I mean, yeah, these players, in my opinion, just aren't good enough, and we need to see better players come into the system, and then maybe we'll get the most out of Hazard, obviously, if he stays by that point. So
I get that completely. Let's jump into a few more phone calls. Thank you. We grabbed a lot of these comments from Twitter, but well done. A lot of dislike for Sarri right now.
Yes.
There really, really is. Loads. Absolutely loads.
Can't always be instant success.
This is true. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name? Hello.
Hello.
Hello. What's your name?
My name's Hamza.
Sorry, say that clearer for me. Hamza.
Yes, I can hear.
Yeah. Say your name again, please.
My name's Hamza.
Hamza. Who do you support?
I support Manchester United.
You're a Man United fan. Tell us your thoughts after beating Chelsea at Stamford Bridge tonight. How happy are you?
I'm very happy and buzzing, to be honest. So that was a brilliant performance, and look, we've slapped up all the London teams, and now bring on Wolves.
Yeah, are you? Can you do me a favour? Can you turn your device down in the background? We can hear the playback.
Is that better?
Hopefully. Yeah, are you we guessed we were going to get Wolves in the next round away. Are you fearful of playing Wolverhampton Wanderers with the great form and good football they're playing under Nuno Espirito Santos?
Well, we've seen in the league form, and we've seen that they've already beaten Liverpool in the FA Cup this season.
look, we can beat anyone away. We've beaten Arsenal, we've beaten Spurs, and we've beaten Chelsea, and they're probably much tougher opponents. And I think we can beat Wolves.
Absolutely. Who impressed you the most tonight on the field for Manchester United? Who is a standout star?
For me, I thought Paul Pogba, obviously, is world class. He's world class, but I thought I'd give under Herrera man of the match. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. He's a very important aspect of Manchester United, and I hope he stays next season. And Man United really need to give him a contract.
Agreed.
Yeah, I get that completely. Listen, really do appreciate your call, young man. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Cheers, mate.
Right, see you later.
Thank you.
Can I just say, Terry? Chelsea needs to take the L tonight, and they really do. And I'm tired of Chelsea fans hiding behind the players aren't good enough, because the players are better than what they're producing. That's the bottom line. Whether they're good enough to win a title or to win a Champions League or even a Europa League, the players are good enough to be doing better than they are. And that's the question you have to ask: are the players playing to their ability? We saw Man United under Jose Mourinho. We weren't as good as Liverpool, correct. We're not as good as Man City, correct. But they're better than what they were doing. Ollie's come in and shown that the players had much more to give. These Chelsea players, as far behind they may be the likes of Liverpool and Man City, they have got much more to give. I'm not having it that these players all of a sudden, from title winners to dead wood. The reality is that Man United came with an interim manager, a supply teacher, came to their backyard, 22 games, we barely win here, 2 games in 22, and dealt with them at their home. That is embarrassing. The players are better than that. They at no point in this game, after we went 1-0 up, and even before it was 0-0, I wasn't really fearful. Did they really show that they're the Chelsea who have won Premier League titles, that they've got Higuain, that they've got Kante, they've got Hazard, Aspilicueta, David Luiz, Rudiger. These are quality players.
Can I ask you this question then? Do you think, have hope, friend of the show, do you think fans like him that play down the quality, you know, Pedro not relevant since 2011, Williams never been good enough, they seem to attack? Do you think it's a deflective tactic to say if we say all our players are rubbish, it gives us a get out of jail free card for playing poorly?
It takes responsibility off the players, or should I say, yeah, off the players, because if they're not good enough, there's nothing more they can do.
Yeah.
But if you expect more from them, then you have to really analyse what is actually going wrong, as opposed to the legs are gone, or he just can't pass, or he's just not what he used to be. Many players are not what they used to be, but they still find a way to get. Scholes wasn't what he used to be up, coming to the 2012 season, but he found a new way. Ryan Giggs the same way.
We've got a YouTube comment here from Mohammed that we would like to put up on the screen, please, Javern. Talking about Sarri and his players. Sarri has to sell Hazard and learn from what Klopp has done with Coutinho. No player is bigger than the team. From your point of view, Danny, there are some Chelsea fans, because of what Sarri has said, that Hazard, a bit of a ringleader, bad attitude. Do you think that he could be culpable in the downfall of another manager at the club?
So in terms of, basically you're trying to suggest that he was down in tools before and he's down in tools now.
Many managers have said that about him.
I believe that to be completely false. In a season where he favorably went missing, right? He came back from, I believe it was the Euros, unfit. He was clearly overweight. And he was lacking from confidence after having a very poor first few months. And that's what carried up for the rest of the season. So, in terms of
one goal.
Huh?
He scored 1 goal in the Premier League.
Oh no, he was horrible, yeah. And I think a lack of confidence does that to players. I think we saw even United under Mourinho as well. Towards the end, you guys were clearly lacking in confidence. Yes, the system maybe didn't suit the likes of Pogba or Rashford, but those guys clearly weren't playing up to their optimum. Not because they were down in tools. Again, I don't see why Man United players aren't charged with this down in tools moniker.
That's why some people don't like
Pogba. Not as
Pogba.
much as Chelsea, but again, to that point, I understood that they weren't performing their best, because when you're a top player and you're not playing with that confidence in your ability, you're always going to underperform.
There are many Man United fans that I haven't checked their Twitter tonight that I follow just to keep abreast of what they think, who are angry at how good Pogba's been since Jose left. They feel that he could have performed.
There will always be a small section which will have that kind of mindset, fair enough, but the overwhelming majority of fans, or just in the fan base, we say, oh, Chelsea players are down in tools, but the Man United players, they get none of that.
But why
is that the case?
Well, they have had it. But this is why I think it may be the case. It's worth considering. 3 managers on the bounce have said a simulation of a very similar thing about player attitudes, players down in tools, not giving their all. If Ollie comes out and says the same thing at Man United in 9 months' time, and then Zidane comes in and a year into his contract says the same thing, then I think that there is no smoke without fire. I think that's where some Chelsea fans are coming from, that it's the third manager on the bounce who has had a major public issue with Eden Hazard and other players' attitudes, contributions and motivations. Does that not concern you as a Chelsea fan?
So one thing I just want to point out is there's only 4 players from the team that Mourinho had that are in this team now that are major players. So is it only those 4 players, which are Hazard, Pedro, Willy and Aspilicueta? I think those are the only 4 players, because David Luiz is at Paris, for example, and the rest of the guys we've already got in recently. And then to your question, in fact, could you repeat the last part of your question? Actually?
Yeah, so you've had 3 managers on the bounce that have gone at the club and the players in the squad for bad motivation, bad attitudes, not giving their all on the pitch. Do you not think there is some smoke without fire? Could there not be a problem with the players rather than these last 3 managers? And I get your point that it's not all the same players, but culture is culture. New players join the club, they see that the culture is player power, they join in with it because they got a safety net. Do you think there's no element of truth to that whatsoever?
I think there's an element of, so when Sarri's talking about motivation in his post-match press conferences, I think there's an element of maybe those guys are not given the system. Maybe they should be more open-minded to the system. But that doesn't mean they're not trying. I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like with Hazard, when he's criticising him, I don't think he's saying that, Hazard's not trying to play for the system. He doesn't want us to win games. I think he's trying to say that maybe he's not disciplined he's not motivated to do the system properly, to don't maybe be tactically disciplined. Again, some people will view me as a Hazard fanboy. I'm one of the most critical fans you'll find of Hazard. I feel like defensively, in the defensive phase, he's not always the best at pressing or staying in this position, and maybe he could do more there. Or maybe he needs to be more selfish in his attacks, or even he needs to stop dropping deep to pick up the ball and he can maybe play further forward. And maybe those are the things Sarri's telling him in the dressing room. Maybe Hazard goes into the pitch and thinks, you know what, I'm better than a lot of these guys. I need to go take the mantelpiece and drop deeper and maybe not stay with my position. So maybe those are the things that maybe Sarri's looking at, saying that, he needs to be better there. Maybe that's where motivation is kicks in. It's not a case of, I'm not running enough. Maybe there's not that kind of motivation, but it's motivation to believe in a system and believe in the tactics that the manager's trying to implement.
I understand that. Got another super chat here from David. We're going to put up on the screen. That's keeping with the Chelsea theme, but very much damning of I'm not sure that'll come up in a minute, of Sarri. I'll read it out when it comes up on the screen. Here it is. It says, it's one thing to say you don't have the players, but when glaring changes but when glaring changes that everyone can see need to be made are not to put on Zabacosta and leave Odoi on the bench. Goodness. Hashtag Sarri out. Do you disagree with what the fans saying there at all? Do you disagree with David in any way, shape or form?
Listen, every fan, it's a famous quote. He said, Man United has got 70,000 managers at every game, because every fan feels like, what I'm saying is the right one, is the right decision. Hudson-Odoi would have come on today and Chelsea could have probably still lost. And at the time when he would have come on, they probably would have still lost. I think he needs to be given more chances in general. I don't think at the stage of him coming on, maybe in the 60th, 70th minute, especially without a Giroud, because we know he likes to get down, put crosses in. I know Higuain is a good striker, but Giroud is probably the most aerial threat. That may not have sparked a victory. What I think him not bringing on Hudson-Odoi shows is that he's very stubborn in maybe what he believes in, which is probably the bigger issue. But when you hashtag it with Sarri out, I just can't take it seriously.
Yeah.
We're 6 months into a season, and you want to sack another manager. It doesn't make sense. Like, I don't think people are looking at it like, okay, Sarri out, and then what?
I get that.
And then what?
I get that completely. And that's a great question to pose back to David. Listen, everybody who has tuned into the show tonight, thank you very much on The Ultimate Football Fan, 100% Chelsea, and my channel, The Football Terrace. Thank you very, very much indeed. Gentlemen, commiserations to yourself, Daniel, on another crushing defeat, especially when you're in here in UFF Towers. And congratulations, Neeks. Well done to you. I am Switzerland tonight, by the way, completely neutral. As I've been pretty neutral.
You've been decent.
Decent.
When the cameras have been on.
Yeah, when the cameras are on. I don't need to do, when you go, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're doing your job.
Exactly. Professionalism to my core. Listen, all of you tuning in, thank you. Smash that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Take care. Good night. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon.
I started a football team, AFTVFC.
Oh my God!
I want to start a football league.
Real YouTuber's business. Dealt with the first incident. Your brother just sent me a chance.
Yeah, we sacked him for managing the team.
Use your Fire TV to search for the UFF app to watch now.